Clintondale Board of Education meeting is called to order at 7 o'clock. Please rise. Mr. Wilson, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Wilson, thank you for leading the pledge. Ms. McDowell, Mr. Powers is excused for the moment, possibly for the whole meeting, depending on how fast we go. Would you call the remainder of the roll?
President Maynard.
Present.
Vice President Valerio Milk.
Present.
Secretary McDowell. Present. Trustee Wilson Senior.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Santini.
Present.
Thank you very much. That's showing 6 board members in attendance. We have a quorum. Board members, the superintendent and the board president recommend the board approve the agenda as submitted. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, Vice President Noak, is there support?
Support.
Support by Secretary McDowell. Discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mrs. Valerio Milk.
Yes.
Mrs. McDowell, yes. Mrs. Santini.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion to adopt the agenda carries 6-0. Public comment regarding business before the board. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics on the agenda. Please stand to be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process in the respective individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity, privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there any member of the public wishing to speak on the agenda item tonight? Please state your name and address for the record.
Jay Blasius. Do I
Mr.
have to say
Blasius,
my
you have 3
address?
minutes.
I mean, a lot of times people come up here, don't say their address. But 31AA, my question is, how much money is that? I didn't see it anywhere in the board packet. How much money is the 31AA, are you allotted? In the event that you are favorably, it goes in your favor, where you don't have to, I guess your privilege gets revoked. If you decide, if it works in your favor, what's the plan with the money? Do you already have a plan, or are you just waiting to see if this gets approved in your favor and then decide a plan, or do we have something already contingent in the event that you were to get the money? And whatever amount that is, which I'm clueless to. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Superintendent, did you want to address that comment?
The money's estimated to be around $325,000, but that could change. Within the legislation right now, it's stating that those that opt in would have a pool of the money. So basically, those districts that opt into it would have a pool of the money, where those districts that do not opt in would their share would then go back to the pool. In terms of what we've utilized that money for, we've used that money to do safety and security updates over the years, and we would like to continue with that. Our camera system is aging and we need to update it. We also use that money to fund our school resource officer through the Clinton Township Police Department. That money is also not only for school safety, but also for mental health, in terms of social workers, in terms of additional staff members available for our student population. If we were to go forward and receive the money, I would like to continue utilizing it on things like our resource officer, but also continue to upgrade our safety and security system. One example was our camera system, but we also have additional key fobs that we would like to continue to put in place so staff members have access to all the doors, not just a small number of the doors. And long-term, we would also like to be moving towards utilizing the front entrance in the first classroom on the right here at the secondary campus as our main entrance for our secondary campus, where individuals would go in there rather than walking right into the building.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Board members, the non-consent item for discussion, the superintendent and the board president recommend that the board approve Resolution D, opt-in subject to rescission. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Support. And Mr. Wilson, trustee Wilson. Board members, I just want to take a quick second and make, so everybody has the same understanding. We have a legal memo from our attorney that is advising us to go this particular route. What we're doing is we're protecting our right to have the money should the lawsuit fail. If we don't opt in this week and the lawsuit fails, we can't opt in again. If we do opt in this week and we don't like what the lawsuit says, we can still opt out. That's what we're doing here this evening. So we're basically preserving our right to be in if we choose to be in after the 19th of December, when the lawsuit should be finalized. Mr. Superintendent, do you have anything else to add?
You're clear on that?
Great. Board members, do you have any questions? None? Okay. Do we have to read this whole thing, or I don't think we have to read it, do we? Can't remember. It's been a long time since I've done a resolution. I want to make sure we do it right.
Then read it, just.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, board members, I'm going to read the resolution. It is lengthy, so please bear with me. A special meeting of the Board of Education for the Clintondale School District was held at the Clintondale High School Conference Center on the day, which is today, of the 1st of December 2025 at 7:00 p.m. The meeting was called to order by Jared Maynard, the president. Members present were Member Maynard, Member Noak, Member Wilson, Member Zontini, Member Wilson Sr., and Member McDowell. Members absent, Powers. The following resolution was offered by Lisa Valerio Noak, supported by Member Kurt Wilson. Whereas Public Act 15 of 2025 amends State School Aid Act Section 3(1)AA, MCL 388.1631AA to allocate funding for fiscal year 2025-2026 to support school safety and student mental health initiatives, as well as provide certain competitive grant funding, parentheses, 31AA funding, and 2, to receive the 31AA funding, the district must agree to receive the funding in the form and manner established by the Michigan Department of Education, parentheses, MDE, and other formal, and either formally opt in or seek a competitive grant. And 3, as a condition of receiving either the type of 31AA funding, the district must agree in advance that in the event of a mass casualty event as defined in MCL 388.1631AA, parentheses 1, the district will be subject to and comply with comprehensive investigations following such an event, and 2, the district will waive any privilege that may otherwise protect related information from disclosure, and 4, litigation challenging the legality enforcement of the privilege waiver requirement is currently pending, and 5, the opt-in deadline for 31AA funding is currently December 4th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m., and it may be subject to further extension, parentheses, the opt-in deadline. And 6, the litigation parties have stipulated that the district may later rescind its opt-in by providing notice to the MDE no later than December 30th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. As may be subject to further extension, parentheses, the recession deadline, in the form of manner established by the MDE. And 7, the board has been fully advised that the legal and the practical implications of privilege waiver requirement, including its potential effect on attorney-client privilege and other applicable privileges. And 8, the board desires to preserve the district's ability for 31AA funding while avoiding any present waiver of privilege and while allowing a time frame for courts to determine the legality and enforcement of the privilege waiver requirement. Now therefore be it resolved, 1, that the board hereby authorizes the superintendent of schools or designee to submit the district's opt-in form to the MDE on or before the opt-in deadline solely for the purpose of preserving the district's eligibility for 31AA funding and only on a conditional basis as provided in this resolution. Submission of the opt-in form shall not constitute a present waiver of the attorney-client privilege or any other privilege. 2, the district's opt-in shall be automatically rescinded without further action of the board unless on or before the rescission date if A, the legislature removes substantive amendments or otherwise eliminates the privilege waiver and requirements such that the acceptance of 31A funding would not require the waiver of attorney-client privilege and or applicable privilege, or B, a court opinion of competent jurisdiction rules that the privilege waiver requirement is unlawful, inenforceable, or otherwise not applicable to the district. If neither A nor B occurs by the recession deadline, the superintendent of schools or designee shall notify the MDA in the form and manner required by the MDA and no later than the recession date that the district's opt-in is rescinded. 3, the privilege waiver requirement remains in effect and enforceable as of the recession deadline. The superintendent of schools or designee shall have no authority or obligation to accept 31AA funding. 4, nothing in this resolution shall be construed as a waiver of attorney-client privilege or other applicable privilege. 5, the district participation in the opt-in recession process shall be construed as a waiver of the board's or district's right to challenge the legality of the enforceable or any condition imposed by MCL 388.1631AA or related administrative guidance. 6, if after the recession deadline the privilege waiver requirement is removed, amended, or invalidated, the board may take further action as it deems appropriate to pursue 31AA funding consistent with applicable law. 7, the resolution does not apply to any mass casualty event occurring prior to the opt-out deadline. 8, all resolutions and parts of this resolution insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution B and the same are hereby rescinded.
Mr. President,
That was a lot to read.
can you reread number 5? You left out the word not.
Which part? The resolution part or the front
The,
part?
the second part.
The district's participation in the opt-in or recession process shall not be construed as a waiver of the board's or the district's right to challenge the legality or enforceability of any condition imposed by MCL 388.1631AA or related administrative guidance. Okay?
We wouldn't want someone listening.
Lord have mercy. The only thing that counts is the written record.
Sure.
Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, I will say this, to all of the board members present, before we vote tonight, please mark your calendars for the 29th of December. We will have to reconvene and make a decision based on the lawsuit. So on the 29th, the lawsuit will be done on the 19th. Gives everybody enough time, hopefully, to tell us what's right or wrong and go from there. So on the 29th, if you're out of town on the 29th, please just let me know, because I know it's the holiday. So I'm just trying to push it further. Yes, Ken?
That will be only if we rescind, so I'll
Correct.
keep everyone updated in terms of the 19th or any legal things that I hear. I won't wait until a Friday update for it. I'll keep you updated as I hear more information, because that 29th would only be if we then wanted to rescind.
Correct. Any questions? No? Madam Secretary, call the roll.
Mrs. Valerio Noak,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Zantini,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. McDowell, yes. Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0 to approve resolution D, opt-in, subject to rescission. Okay? General comment general public comment on items not on the agenda. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics not on the agenda. Please stand to be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting to provide the opportunity for all to participate. Board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process in the respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or a specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anybody for public comment not on an agenda item? Please state your name.
Jay Blasius. I'm going to stick to the mantra of the president, education, accountability, and transparency. I'm up here once again to ask what's the plan to get our NWA achievement levels up and our M-STEP scores up? Or better yet, at least having the students reading and doing math at grade level. Not one grade below, not two, but three. For those who continue to talk about COVID, learning loss, etc., sure, some schools might have test scores lower than before, but Clintondale scores are at the bottom. We're talking the bottom. It's no coincidence the district is looking for BCBAs, APs, and interventionists. It's the result of Parker being put on the Comprehensive Support and Improvement Plan. Enough of all the excuses. It's time for intensive intervention because whatever is being done surely isn't working. Again, board, ask yourself, why would someone send their child to Clintondale? It has been mentioned to me that CCS has been academically declining for the last 10 years or so, as like that's an excuse. I say, deal with the here and now, and then turn the ship around immediately. If the leader of the district can't transformationally change the academic performance of CCS students, it might be time that this board take an extremely close look at what's happening in the buildings instead of being begilded by the superintendent. Recently, even MSU changed the head football coach after a couple years because the results weren't as expected. Leadership matters.
Is there anybody else for public comment?
I have public comment.
Ms. Wilson?
Thank you. Chair, I'm going to ask again regarding my October 30th email where I had come to you and asked for you to investigate the negative things that were said about me on this board by board members. So I'm asking for an update. And Superintendent, if you can pause to see if the chair wants to answer to give me an update on where that stands.
Everything's in progress.
And if you can explain what that means, everything's in progress, that's very vague. I don't understand what you're saying.
My investigation is in progress. When it is completed, I will provide you notice
Do you have a timeline?
when I complete it.
How fair is that to say when you complete it? I've asked for this since October 30th, and I haven't even gotten a status update or anything. I think it's a fair question. You did say about transparency and accountability, and it seems like it's lacking. That's one question. The next question is, and maybe these things need to come to the board because you and I are having this dialogue, and I don't know if the other board members really know what's going on. The other question I have is, I did ask to go to Thrune to get some clarification on a few of our bylaws and policies when it came to the board reorganization. Can you give me any insight on where that stands?
I'm not stopping, so she has 3 minutes.
Are you saying you're not going to answer the question? Because I'm not even getting an answer in my emails.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so that's the other question. And the other question is, I did send you the request that I had submitted under the former president regarding the censure, and that is another thing that I would like to have and understand where that stands. I am a board member, and I think I'm entitled to these, to an answer to these things. I'm not bringing anything to the board that is out of line. It is about transparency, and it is about accountability. And I guess what my final question is, can you put this on the agenda to bring awareness to the entire board about the questions that I am asking? I'm sorry, Mr. Blasius was able to get a response to his, with all due respect. You went over to the superintendent and asked the superintendent to respond to Mr. Blasius, our community member, which is the right thing to do. It's a great question. And I am a board member asking for a response, and you sit silent.
I have a question about the 31A. Can I still ask a question about that? This is for the superintendent. I'm sorry. When the question was asked, what will we use the money for? Could you please give me the answer again, sir? I couldn't find my pen.
Safety and security money, and mental health money, which is also known as 31AA money. We would like to continue to utilize that money from previous years, what we've used it for. One of those being our SRO. We were able to bring a school resource officer back. This is our third year right now with Clintondale Community Schools, having a partnership with Clinton Township Police Department and having an SRO. It's a great opportunity for the two entities to build some structure together, and having him here to work to support our students, staff, and families. We'd also like to continue to upgrade our safety and security in terms of our facilities. We've used the money in previous years for the night lock system, for new PA systems. We've used it for some additional money from the state of Michigan for secure entrances. All things that statewide are pretty consistent within schools. We'd like to continue to expand on that with some new cameras within our safety and security in terms of visuals within the district. Our cameras are old, but not as old as our database on housing the information. So upgrading those would be a great necessity in the upcoming years. We also need to continue to expand our use of key fobs. We currently have key fobs at selected doors right now. So let's say a secondary staff member comes over to a central office, they walk around the building and buzz in. If a staff member parks at a different door here, they have to walk to the various doors to get in. Having access from those key fobs is important not only for our staff on day-to-day, but also in the event of an emergency. Currently, we utilize those key fobs to get in as well as to lock those doors down on the outside. Depending on the amount of money we have within there, we would then start to look at in terms of bringing the facilities committee together to see what else do we need to do in terms of Clintondale Community Schools to move forward with some of that safety and security money. But the safety and security money is also for mental health. So we can utilize that for social workers. We can utilize that to also support the mental health of our students, something that within the state of Michigan is lacking.
Thank you. 'Cause I did read, when I did read the 31A money, I did read more about the staff and the mental health portion than so much the safety and security. But thank you.
Did you want to respond to the other comment?
Whatever.
No.
Okay.
Mr. Superintendent?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm good.
You're good? Okay,
Mr. Maynard, may I?
sure.
All right, my quick question, and I'm just gonna be blunt about this. And I ask I ask for apology for being so blunt. I would like to know, why do we continue to come up with things that should be over and done with? We have work that we need to be done. We have the students that we have to think about. I personally would like to move ahead and just go forward and do the job that we were asked to do, or voted in to do. We should not be squabbling anymore about what happened 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, unless it had something directly to do with the students and getting their grades up and getting their reading skills better and everything else that comes to being a board member. We have to start working together. And if we can't work together, then we're gonna have to find a solution real quick. Because I'm hearing it from everyone. Not only from people on this board, but people out there. My neighbors are asking me questions. And they're absolutely right. When are we gonna do the work of the board? And that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Maynard.
So
Mr. Wilson?
You know, when you are mistreated, from day one, December 30th was a private meeting about the Wilsons coming to this board. Day one. We didn't know this board. We came in to work for this board. When someone has a private meeting, when someone makes a false police report, when someone backstabs you, I'm tired of hearing we should move forward. How about this? We never came to this board to hurt anybody, to backstab anybody, to lie and cheat anybody. I'm tired of hearing, why do we repeat? Because people were burnt so bad that it's gonna last for a long time. Ma'am, I've never been on a police report in my life. In my life. My military record is impeccable. You're a librarian. You should know impeccable.
I did.
My family is impeccable. I'm an African-American male with 4 children. All 4, sir, went to college. I grew up in the village. I worked twice as hard as my white counterparts. Don't tell me about why do we bring this up again. We came to this board to work. I've been in the school district for 23 years. 23. You guys have been on this board for 34 months. The inside of our building looks terrible. But you can tell me you want to do the work of the students? 50-year anniversary at Robbie Hall Parker. I attended. William Nickey. Who showed up? 50 years. African American elementary school. You know who showed up? Mr. Maynard. Miss Wilson. Don't tell me about why do we keep going down the same road. Before my sister and I got to this board, someone sent out something inclusion that we had no idea about. Nothing. You treat my wife like dirt. Don't talk to me about why do we continue. The man, the superintendent, does the business of the building. You're right, Mr. Blazes. He does the building of education. You're right. We set policy. We find vision. You want to stop talking about it? Stop backstabbing people. Stop treating people like dirt. We sat on this board one night, talked about a mileage to 2 in the morning. Once we described that other people were involved, other Caucasian people, the conversation stopped. You wonder why people come to that podium and call you racist. You wonder. I went to Lakeshore. I taught school at in Taylor, Michigan. Not one time did someone call me racist. Not once. They come here weekly. Stop telling me about the past, why we go through this. You treat us like garbage. We have good meetings as long as the treasurer's not here. So I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Close your ears when we open our mouth, or treat us fairly. Now, if you don't understand it, stop coming or resign. That's all I got, Chair.
Mrs. Santini?
And I'm ready for the next one.
My first question is, on the three, we're talking about the security and whatever, will we be utilizing the flying locksmith again from when we had the work done, or do you think it'll be somebody different?
That depends on when and what and how. So, no decision yet.
Okay,
That
because I
makes
think
sense?
everyone, you were pleased with it,
Yep.
with the work. I have to comment because
No, I'm right behind you. Yes.
am I on the clock? I'm on the clock?
Nope.
No, I'm not on the clock? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I'll, want to request, there was a May censure that was given to our former president, Felicia Kaminsky,
That's a lie.
that it was,
That's a lie.
I have the floor, this is my time.
But that's a lie.
Please don't
And that's why I
interrupt.
said.
No one
Taylor,
interrupted any
cut
other
the
board
lies.
member.
That's a lie.
Please don't
Everybody-
interrupt
No
me.
censure given to a former president.
This is
And I will send you the
disrespectful to
email
board members when
Stop.
they
Sent
can't
to
talk.
Mrs. Kaminsky. I will send you the email.
Both of you are out of order.
No,
Please
this is why
stop.
you need to correct the lies.
Please
And I'm not going to
stop.
tolerate anybody else lying on me. If you're not
Mrs.
gonna do
Wilson,
anything
you
about
are
it-
out of order.
If you're not going to do anything about it, I'll take care of it myself.
You are out of
And
order,
I'm
Ms.
not going to
Wilson.
stand by and let anybody lie, continue to lie.
Mrs. Wilson, you are out of order. Mrs. Antini, you have the floor.
They've been out of order and you say nothing.
Mrs. Wilson, you're out of order. Mrs. Santini, you have the floor.
Thank you. I do not want to waste time and resources and money, but I would need to bring up that, again, there was a censure that was filed with our former president regarding our board member. And it goes back of it on the first night that I returned as a board member after being appointed by the MSID. Accusations were made, even though I was not present there, but there are two board members that can verify what was said about me. I have FOIA'd the information some months ago, so I know very clearly of what the censure included. I was not there to defend myself. What was said about me is untrue. There is no proof to what was said about me, and that started on my very first night. It has continued. I took an oath to do my job. I've been reminded about the mileage, and I saw something on a report that didn't seem right, and I did what I had to do and did my job. To say that police reports are frivolous is just ridiculous. The police department would not spend valuable time and resources with all the work that they have overseeing and protecting our citizens and this community if there wasn't something there. So it was not frivolous. It was me doing my job. Because I saw something that shouted out from a page and I didn't feel it was right. I asked questions. I really didn't get any response. And yes, I went down and filed a report. Would I do that again? Yes, because it was the right thing to do. And that's part of my job. It's very difficult to come to meetings when you're maligned and people say things that are untrue and unfounded. I have now people from the outside that aren't even residents in our district also attacking me verbally with no proof. I have never treated anyone here with disrespect, but I truly have been disrespected. I have been discriminated against for doing my job. I can't even speak in my behalf, as you can see just a few moments ago. There are two sides to every coin, yet we only hear one side. And it just seems relentless that we have board members that are very much trying to go after me. Board members that put on Facebook misinformation about me, accusations that are untrue, and yet nothing has happened. Nothing has been dealt with. I also spoke for 3 minutes on my first night and talked about working together. Even though what I was told happened before I sat in this seat back in May, I spent 3 minutes explaining that I wanted to work with everyone, that we needed to extend an olive branch to one another and do the job that we were supposed to do for the children, for the district, for our community. And yet, it wasn't minutes after that, someone spoke, and it was that it didn't matter what I said. I don't know what more I can do, but to do the best job that I can do. People talk about integrity. Well, I have integrity too, and I have a good reputation in this township. I've lived in this district for 42 years. I have run for public office. I have served on many committees of building our police department, on millages to build fire station on Elizabeth Road and the rebuild fire station on Gratiot number 1, and countless other things that I've done in this community because I love my community. And I've always wanted to give back to my community. But to be constantly harassed and maligned week after week after week, and with no end in sight, and yet I've done nothing wrong. So, in saying it bears repeating, I don't want to waste more money, but if there are board members that want to put the censures back on me or the other 2 members, they have a right to ask that, but I have a right also to ask that that censure, that it looked as though it was buried back in May, that that should come forth too. Because there are 2 sides of every coin and 2 sides of a story. Thank you very much for your time.
Ms. McDowell?
Just to clarify something, on November 5th, I emailed the principal of Parker Elementary to let her know that I would be out of town on the date of their 50th anniversary, and I sent my best wishes. And then I reconveyed those when I saw her last week.
Mr. Superintendent?
When you asked me if I wanted to comment, looking back now in terms of the other public comment. So I'll just update a couple things. Question was, why would you send your students here? What are we doing? We're doing a large amount of things here at the elementary level and the secondary level. Why would you send your students to school here? We have an amazing staff. We have some great teachers that have been here for a long amount of time, and we have some great new teachers that have stepped up. Phenomenal leadership within the buildings and central office, bringing in some great people that are really trying to put Clintondale back in the spot where it should be. In terms of what are we doing to support students, we work within 3 tiers to support students. The first tier is within our quality education. It's in that first round of education, that first round of reading and math that goes to our students. But we also have tiered instruction with our tier 2 and tier 3. Are they perfect right now? Absolutely not. This is only our 3rd year with our new curriculum, and yes, it will take some time to get there, but we are making strides. I was just in an elementary school the other day talking to one of the coaches, and she was sharing the amount of growth that she has seen within her students and some of the DIBELS assessments that they are doing. So at the next meeting, I would be more more than happy, and within my superintendent report, not only to comment on the other two comments that were made last week about CSI schools, and I'll update all of you about what CSI school was nominated, which was Parker, but also the TSI school, which was a middle school that we've removed from the list, as well as a CSI school, which is the alternative high school. Our students that attend iCampus, I could not be more proud of. But unfortunately, as a result of them being alternative high school students, some of them do not graduate on time, and some of them never will graduate on time. But the important thing is that they're coming here to graduate. We had over 70 students last year graduate from our alternative high school, with almost 250 students there. Absolutely phenomenal that they're working. So will they continue to make that title of CSI because they're not graduating on time? Absolutely. Will it change one day, maybe from the state of Michigan, how they code schools? Because remember, it used to be called a focus school. Now we're a CSI school. Will it change one day for alternative? It might. But it's been that way since I was an alternative high school principal. Those students are working their tail off, not only at the alternative high school, but our staff at all of our elementaries, day in and day out. I got a chance to walk with a board member the other day to see some of the things that are happening in the elementary. Do we have areas for growth? Absolutely. We all have areas for growth, but I'll bring a detailed plan next time in terms of answering some of those questions, and as well as addressing some of the additional things that were mentioned from CSI school to the FOIA as well. Thank you.
When I'm asked to investigate things, it's not the easiest thing to do. You're asked to look at objective facts or what is presented to you and determine what the objective fact is, to determine who was actually right, who was actually wrong, and to figure out what caused the problem. Everything is not easy, and everything is not quick. Rest assured, if you have asked me, as other board members have asked me prior, I keep confidential if you ask for an investigation. I remind the board members, those here, those watching at home, and those who left, when you make public statements, be very careful, because the facts that you say need to be accurate. What I am finding is that some things are accurate, some things are truths, some things are half-truths. Some things I don't even know why we're even looking at them. And the problem I'm having is making sure that I do the investigation correctly, no matter what or whom the result affects. That is what I do for each of you and any of you. And if it takes me a little longer, it takes me a little longer. If you're frustrated by that, I do apologize, but I would rather get it right than have to redo it. So I ask that you bear with me as I move through it. Are there any other questions this evening? Okay. It seems we have a board of 4 to close. Is there a motion for agenda, or a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Ms. Noak, is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Zantini. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. 7:43, we are adjourned.
Mr. Manager?